We had seen how the different types of rights that work with regard to creative industries. We had seen copyright, trademark, rights with regard to merchandising and broadcasting. Now let's look at piracy in the film industry, because this is something which is one of the reasons why we had seen certain changes in the law. Uh, any unauthorized use or reproduction of another's work can be termed as a pirated work, or the act can be referred to as piracy. And this is one of the biggest threat to the film industry, and you would see that the lifespan or the shelf life of creative works coming down largely because of piracy. Now earlier we had instances of theatrical works, movies running for 100 days, 200 days, or even more. Now the lifespan has become so short that in the first release and the follow-up sale for broadcasters like cable television, the right is almost captured at that level itself. I mean, it is monetized. So the first few days become very important because of issues with regard to piracy. And there are three major forms of piracy in India. One is in the home video market. There could also be piracy, cable piracy, and unauthorized communication of movies in public places. Now, copyright piracy could result by exposure to different pirate media, like streaming of pirated movies online, and there are various software tools available for downloading movies, downloading pirated movies, and also possessing or sharing pirated movies by VCDs or DVDs. Now, the social cost of piracy is that it negatively affects the livelihood of persons involved in working the industry. Again, that's the incentive argument. If piracy is not curbed, then the creators will not be sufficiently incentivized to invest in creation of new works, and it could also be detrimental to the economy itself. Now, there are some social benefits in piracy in the sense that the artistic works get better coverage, and it would make the artist more popular. In fact, one of the models that has evolved in the West as a response to piracy of soundtracks was that the creators, the artists, concentrated on live events, because live events, by ticket sales, you could monetize your live events, and they themselves released the audio tracks for free to their fans. So this was a innovation by which they could not only curb the piracy, because they were themselves instrumental in releasing the track for free, but they monetized their works by live shows, and they increased the number of live shows they would do in any given year. So there is a social benefit to piracy in that it makes the creator more popular, and the legal risks are copyright infringement, and since copyright infringement is a criminal offense, there could also be imprisonment apart from fine. Now, that was a very short description on piracy. Now, we would now move on to cover the two things that were left out. We had actually scheduled to cover this in the next week, but we want to cover the government's role in fostering IP and teaching intellectual property this week, so that we have some time to cover the case laws and have some Q&A sessions next week, which is the last week of our course.